Imagine a life shattered by an unexpected loss, a young widow bravely navigating grief, writing a children's book to help her sons cope, and even appearing on local television, projecting an image of resilience in the face of unimaginable tragedy. Now, imagine that entire narrative unraveling, piece by agonizing piece, to reveal a chilling accusation, that the grieving widow herself is the very person responsible for the death she so publicly mourned. This is the staggering reality at the heart of the Kouri Richins case, a story of alleged betrayal, greed, and a shocking descent into darkness that has captivated and horrified the nation. What truly happened on that fateful night, and how did a seemingly perfect life spiral into an alleged murder plot that rivals the most gripping true crime dramas? The story begins in Kamas, Utah, a picturesque town nestled in the Wasatch Mountains. Here, Kouri Richins, a real estate agent, and her husband, Eric Richins, a seemingly successful local businessman, built a life together. They had 3 young sons and, from the outside, appeared to be living the American dream. Kouri often shared glimpses of their family life on social media, portraying a loving marriage and a happy home. Eric was known in the community for his work, and many saw them as a stable, hard-working couple, raising their children in a tight-knit environment. Yet, beneath this seemingly idyllic surface, prosecutors would later paint a very different picture, alleging a marriage fraught with tension, financial disputes, and, ultimately, a sinister plot that culminated in Eric's untimely death. On March 4, 2022, Kouri Richins called 911, reporting that her husband, Eric, was cold to the touch and unresponsive. She told dispatchers that she had given Eric a Moscow Mule cocktail to celebrate a house closing and then gone to sleep with one of their children in a separate room. When she returned to their bedroom hours later, she found him deceased. Emergency services arrived, but it was too late. Eric Richins, at just 39 years old, was pronounced dead. The initial shock quickly spread through the community. How could a healthy, relatively young man die so suddenly? The circumstances, while tragic, didn't immediately scream foul play. Kouri, devastated, began the difficult process of mourning, surrounded by her children and what appeared to be an outpouring of community support. However, suspicions began to quietly fester behind the scenes. The family, particularly Eric's loved ones, expressed concern about the suddenness of his death and Kouri's behavior both before and after his passing. These initial whispers grew louder when the results of Eric's toxicology report came back. What they revealed sent shockwaves through the investigation and shattered the narrative of a natural, sudden death. Eric Richins, it was discovered, had died from an overdose of fentanyl, a powerful opioid more than 50 times stronger than heroin. And the amount found in his system was lethal, far exceeding a therapeutic dose. This revelation immediately shifted the focus from a tragic accident to a criminal investigation, centering squarely on Kouri Richins. Investigators began to meticulously retrace Kouri's actions in the days and weeks leading up to Eric's death. What they uncovered was a disturbing pattern of alleged attempts to obtain illicit drugs. Authorities claimed that Kouri had contacted an acquaintance to acquire prescription pain pills, allegedly for an injured client. This acquaintance, whom prosecutors would later identify as a drug dealer, testified to buying various pills for Kouri, including oxycodone. More critically, this acquaintance also claimed to have purchased fentanyl for Kouri, not once, but twice, just weeks before Eric's death. The first time, Kouri allegedly requested some of the Michael Jackson stuff, referring to fentanyl. The second time, just days before Eric died, she allegedly asked for an even stronger dose, claiming it was for a client with a back injury. The individual reported providing Kouri with pills containing fentanyl, which Kouri allegedly described as strong. The timeline of these alleged drug purchases became a cornerstone of the prosecution's case. It suggested a premeditated effort to obtain the very drug that killed Eric. Furthermore, investigators learned of previous alleged attempts by Kouri to poison Eric. Family members reportedly told authorities that Eric had fallen ill after eating a meal Kouri had prepared for him just weeks before his death, experiencing severe nausea and vomiting. Eric himself had allegedly expressed suspicions, telling family members that he believed his wife was trying to poison him. These claims, coupled with the fentanyl discovery, began to paint a terrifying picture of a woman meticulously planning her husband's demise. Beyond the alleged drug acquisition, Kouri Richins' behavior following Eric's death also raised significant red flags for investigators and the public. Just over a year after his death, Kouri published a children's book titled, Are You With Me?, aimed at helping children cope with the loss of a loved one. She appeared on local news channels, promoting the book and discussing her journey of grief, all while the police investigation into Eric's death was secretly intensifying. This public display of sorrow, in stark contrast to the emerging allegations, created a jarring and unsettling image for many. Her seemingly calm demeanor during these appearances, while discussing such a profound loss, would later be scrutinized as potentially calculated and manipulative. Financial motives also became a central point of the prosecution's case. Investigators reportedly uncovered evidence that Kouri had significant financial debts and was facing pressure from creditors. Meanwhile, Eric had substantial life insurance policies, some of which Kouri had allegedly attempted to change beneficiaries on, or even take out new policies, without Eric's knowledge. Prosecutors alleged that Kouri was attempting to access large sums of money from Eric's estate and had engaged in fraudulent financial activities. There were reports of disputes over Eric's business and attempts by Kouri to conceal financial information from Eric's family. These financial pressures, combined with the alleged attempts to poison him and the eventual fentanyl overdose, created a powerful narrative for the prosecution. On May 8, 2023, more than a year after Eric's death, Kouri Richins was arrested and charged with aggravated murder and 3 counts of possession of a controlled substance with intent to distribute. The arrest shocked the nation, transforming her from a sympathetic figure into a prime suspect in a heinous crime. The charges meant that prosecutors believed she had intentionally and unlawfully caused Eric's death. Since her arrest, the legal battle has been fiercely contested. Kouri Richins has steadfastly maintained her innocence, and her legal team has worked vigorously to defend her. They have argued that the evidence presented by the prosecution is circumstantial and that Kouri is being unfairly targeted. They have challenged the credibility of witnesses, particularly the individual who allegedly supplied the fentanyl, suggesting that this person may have motives to lie or is unreliable. Her defense has also tried to highlight inconsistencies in the prosecution's timeline and evidence, working to chip away at the strength of the state's case. They have argued that Kouri was genuinely grieving and that her actions, such as writing the book, were a legitimate way to cope with loss, not a calculated deception. The prosecution, on the other hand, is building a case based on a combination of forensic evidence, witness testimony, and alleged financial motives. They plan to present the toxicology report showing lethal levels of fentanyl, the alleged text messages and communications about drug purchases, the witness testimony from the alleged drug dealer, and accounts from Eric's family members about Kouri's suspicious behavior and Eric's prior illnesses. They will likely emphasize the narrative of a troubled marriage and Kouri's alleged desperate financial situation as key drivers behind the crime. The state's strategy is to weave these various threads of evidence into a compelling narrative of premeditated murder, portraying Kouri as a cold and calculating individual who systematically planned and executed her husband's death for financial gain and to escape their marital problems. The legal proceedings have involved numerous hearings, motions, and intense legal maneuvering. There have been debates over what evidence will be admissible in court, the potential for a trial date, and the complex process of discovery. The case continues to unfold, drawing immense public attention and sparking countless discussions across true crime forums and social media. The sheer audacity of the alleged crime, coupled with Kouri Richins' public persona as a grieving widow, has made this a case that resonates deeply, touching on themes of trust, deception, and the darkest corners of human relationships. It raises profound questions about who we truly know, even those closest to us, and the lengths some might go to for personal gain. As the legal process continues, the world watches, waiting for answers, waiting for justice, and grappling with the unsettling reality that sometimes, the most horrific truths are hidden beneath the most innocent-seeming facades. This case serves as a stark reminder of the complexities of human nature and the vital importance of seeking truth, no matter how uncomfortable or shocking it may be. The Kouri Richins story is not just a crime, it's a profound examination of the masks people wear and the devastating consequences when they finally slip. If this story has gripped you, as it has so many others, consider subscribing to our channel for more deep dives into the true crime cases that continue to baffle and intrigue. Hit that like button if you want to see more content like this, and leave a comment below with your thoughts on the Kouri Richins case. What do you believe happened, and what questions do you still have? Your engagement helps us bring more untold stories to light and keeps the conversation going. Join our community as we continue to explore the mysteries that lie beneath the surface.